get showcased.
Welcome everybody to another live edition of the Showcase Pod. I am Don Vega, joined by the boss Chris Blackheart, back at it again. See, that's the proper intro to the podcast.
Proper.
We don't have the midget Daniel in the chair. We don't have you looking depressed.
You thought he was sad last week. You should see him this week. And we'll get into that. Everything that happened in Franklin with Danny Cabral.
Yeah.
AZ, but with that being said, we have a special guest.
We have a guest this week, all the way from New York City via telephone line. It's Bryant Starr joining us. Brian, you there?
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother?
Thank you for coming.
How's things in your neck of the woods?
Good. Everything's good, man. It's getting cold out there, man.
Yeah, I
Winter's
know.
arriving.
A little cold breeze, but nonetheless, like every guest that we have on, I like to go way back when you were a little Brian and find out how you got bitten by the professional wrestling bug.
A little Brian, that's funny. So I was maybe around 4 or 5 years old, and my dad introduced me to wrestling. Me and my older brother, around '93. So that's like the era of Bret Hart. I remember Yokozuna, The Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior, Owen Hart, all those guys. So I don't know, I was just addicted to it then. I remember staying up and watching WrestleMania 12, the Iron Man match between Shawn and Bret.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just a fan of it. I had all the toys. I went to the live events. I went to the Garden with the remember the infamous Click curtain call?
Yeah.
So I was there in '96 with my dad and my brother. And, I was just a fan. Had everything, all the toys, the games. I was just addicted to it. And I watched that for a few years, and I stopped. And then my grandmother passed away in 2005. And I was with my cousin. We were all hanging out because, we all got together for her. And he had SmackDown versus Raw 2005 for PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
So I was playing it, and all the memories came back. I got to play as Bret Hart and all these other. I was like, wow, this brings back memories. And since then, I started watching Raw again and SmackDown and all that, and I just became, I guess, obsessed with it again. Then I remember it was 2006, September 11th in Madison Square Garden. They had Raw there, and I was there. I was 18 with my dad and my brother. And I remember when Orton came out. He came out to the old Burning My Light song. Remember that song?
Yeah, yep.
And the whole garden, it turned gold, right? With the lights and the fireworks coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And something hit me right there. And I was like, you know what? I want to try this. I got to do this. This is what I feel like I'm put on this earth to do this. So, yeah, started training.
So your dad and your brother were also wrestling fans? They put you on to wrestling?
Yeah. My dad put both of my brothers, my older brother and I. So he introduced us to it, and he's not really a huge fan, but he knows certain people, and he surprises me sometimes when certain people that he knows as well.
Okay, so you're originally born and raised in New York City?
Yep. Yeah, I was born in Queens.
Okay. So after you went to that event, you saw Randy, you saw the entrance, you got the bug again, you wanted to try it, you thought you could do it. How do you go about finding a wrestling school?
So I think I just went online and I just searched. I didn't really know. I think it was a few months after that day at the Garden when I was like, all right, how do I get into this? Because you don't, like in 2006 and 7, like you don't know where to look for a wrestling school, Everything you search is amateur wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So I look and I find some place that's called Wrestling Universe, and it's in Queens.
Yes.
That's actually a toy store in Whitestone. So I go in there, I'm thinking like, oh, this is the wrestling school. So I go in, and this guy named Jack Sabbats, I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah. So I walk in and he comes out and I'm like, oh, maybe the wrestling school or the ring isn't behind because all I see is toys out here. And he goes, hey, I'm looking for the wrestling school. Is this out? He goes, no, this is a wrestling store. But if you want to go to a wrestling school, he writes down a piece of paper with he writes down Gleason's Gym and go to Johnny Rod's. And that was in 2007. And I said, all right, I'll look into it. Thanks. So that was that. So I called Johnny, and he's like, oh, well, you got to come in and we got to talk and this and that. I said, okay. So I went in August of 2007. He had a show, and I went there with my dad. And we went to his office. He was 66 at the, no, 60, yeah, 66. And he was still jacked. Like, his neck was fucking huge and everything. And I just went in there, and I was, I didn't know who he was, but I walked into his office, and I see pictures of the Dudley Boys, of Bret Hart, and everybody. He knows all these guys, so I'm like, okay, this guy must know, something about the business.
Yeah.
So we talked, and he told me what the deal is and this and that. And I ended up going 8 months after that. So I started in February of 2008 training with him.
Okay,
and, yeah, that's when I started training.
So you, prior to that, you had no idea who Johnny Rods was?
No, and he asked me, he goes, you know who I am? I'm like, no, I don't, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm a fan of John Cena. That's all I really knew. But he just, he smacked his head. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of young lads like that right now that, they really don't know about the past, the history of pro wrestling. But if we have any of those, we're talking about the unpredictable Johnny Rods, WWE, WWF Hall of Famer, journeyman, carpenter, whatever you want to call it. But if you go on the network, you're going to see Johnny work some of the biggest stars in this business. And there is a reason why he's a Hall of Famer. So if you don't know who Johnny is, go find out and check out his stuff, and definitely go back and do some homework on history. So how was training with Johnny? What was it like?
So he's hands down the best pro wrestling trainer ever. And I know people are gonna have their opinion, but that's just from where I come from, to what I learned from him. So when I started training there, it was 2008 February. Like I said, first day I go was a Monday. He calls me. I'm like, hey, just make sure you bring a bunch of sweatpants and T-shirts because you're gonna sweat a lot. I'm like, okay, because he doesn't like nobody's leaving sweat on the apron. That's his big.
Mm-hmm.
You can't bring water bottles in there. You can't bring your cell phone. None of that. So I started training. The first thing I got taught, this guy named Mikey Firezone. He's also a really good worker, and he goes, okay, we're gonna show you how to roll. The first thing I did was a roll. He said, oh, not bad. And then I did another roll, and again and again. And then we did something called a roll down. So you slap on the mat, and then you do a roll, and then a roll down, roll down. And that's all I did for about a month or two. And then maybe an arm drag. And then all we do was squats and push-ups and sit-ups.
Yep.
For shit. Every
like
workout, you got to... Every workout before, that's a warm-up. Just like maybe 400 squats, maybe 200 push-ups. Crunches, and then your rolls. And when I trained, there were these guys there who'd been there a few years, but they were all like really good workers. Even to this day, even when I didn't know anything and I thought they were good back then, yeah, I look back now and I still think just because I didn't know anything, they're still great workers. So there's a guy named Mac Daddy Flex. He helped train me a lot. Musketeer from ECW. I don't know if you guys know him.
Yeah, I know Musketeer. Yep.
Yeah, so he was like besides Johnny, he's like right behind Johnny on who trained me. Probably told me 90% of the stuff I know.
Okay. Johnny was still getting in the ring back then, though, right?
He was, not as much, but he was still bumping at 67 years old.
Mm.
Yeah.
Chris.
He's still
Brian,
he still got in the ring.
How'd you feel like when you went through that door the first time for that first night of training?
Well, honestly, I remember it. I grabbed the rope, the second rope, as I was standing out, just about, and something like, I don't know, bro, maybe vaguely you got like some sort of an electric shock hit me, bro. Like, bro, this is, I don't know, bro, I can't even describe it. It's indescribable, but I felt like, damn, I already love this. You know, as soon as I touched that rope, I'm like, I love this, bro. And I got in the ring, and I don't know, bro. That he got an 18 by 18, and it's just, I don't know. The first day of training, I was like, I can't wait to come back.
Were you the only, like, were you the newest guy training? Or did you have like a class, a bunch of guys, or?
Yeah. So Johnny's got Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So I had to work in the morning, and I would get to there maybe around 5:30, 6, and there'd be guys in there, and I would just follow their lead. You know, I just get in. If they're doing rolls, I'll do the rolls. If they back bump, whatever it is, I don't, you know. And I would do that with them, and then like I said, just follow their lead and whatever they want to do. I was new, so I didn't, you know, I just listened to everybody basically and just followed the lead.
So, Brian, how long did it take you from the moment that you started training to actually being ready and Johnny telling you you're ready for your first match, kid, and you're ready to make your debut?
Johnny thinks I'm still not ready. Maybe I could, but so like I said, February 2008, I started training. My first match was against some guy named Prince Atiba in August of 2008. And I botched the most simple spot. Tackle, drop down, leapfrog, which I do 1,000 times, arm drag. And he goes, drop down, leapfrog, he goes for an arm drag, I hold the rope so that freak out. Mm-hmm. And then I start kicking him, and he gets up and just beats the shit out of me because I messed up that little spot. But I think I rolled him up and got the W. So.
Okay. All right. So
I like that because we just had a kid just had his first match. One of your fine proteges, the Stallion, Blake Stallion, and you know it was okay. You know, your first match is supposed, not that you want it to suck, but when you look at it now compared to look at that day you're excited to be in that ring. It's a great feeling. You know, you feel like you kind of made it. You know, but the idea is, if that is your best match, you know, 10, 15 years later, there's a problem. And unfortunately, with some people, that does happen.
Yeah, it seems to be a fact with a lot of people.
Yeah. So he's very strict on, you need to know what you're doing before you even get into a basic match, because you can get hurt, and I've seen people get hurt in the ring, jumping around, doing stupid basic stuff. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, their spine is in a different place.
Mm-hmm. So, Brian, how long before you start expanding out from Johnny's and working other places? How long did it take you to leave the nest and start going on your own?
The first show I did outside was March of 2009 in Staten Island. I did a triple threat match, and so I trained 2008 all the way to 2009 of March. 2008 February to March of 2009. That's a year of the straight training. Mm-hmm. Then I did that indie show, and I took time off then to go to school and came back in 2011. So I didn't wrestle after that. I wrestled like one more match after that, and I just took time off because I was 21 maybe. I was like, I don't know. You know, sometimes you gotta take that step back and just. I know wrestling's always gonna be there, so I just I worked in school and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I came back in September of 2011 to train again, trying to restart.
Okay, so talk to us when you came back. You know, what were some of the companies you worked for? You did mention to me that you went outside. You went. You got to wrestle in Mexico.
Oh yeah. So when I came back in 2011, of course Johnny was there with open arms. You know, he goes, well, he says what he says about me, but he loves me. So, you guys remember Damien Demento?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's a Johnny guy too. He trained like in the late 80s, early 90s, and he was trying to make somewhat of a comeback because WWE started mentioning his name around then. So he started wrestling very little, so he was in the ring. So from 2011, when I came back, I think it was September, he was there from like 2 p.m. to like 8, like 2 or 3 days a week, and you got to take the time that he has, and it's valuable to me. So I would just sit there with him and pick his brain, and he would always tell me this, that, and that. So mm-hmm. Johnny made me his manager, and made him my manager for my matches. You know, so we're always like almost like a tag team. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that was in 2011, and I learned so much from him for like 6 months, maybe a year that he was there. And he told me, he's like, listen, the only way you're gonna get better, you have to wrestle about almost 4 nights a week. You know, because at a certain time, train. You have to expand and go to elsewhere and learn more from the business. And so I did that until 2012. I started reaching out to other schools and just, what do I have to do to be a part of this or get any looks? And I was with this guy named Joel Maximo. You know him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's still a good friend till today. And he had a school, it was called Ludus, and they were doing shows, I think maybe once a month, maybe even twice a month. So I started training with him. And back when he had that school, he had Mike Santana, the TNA guy.
Yes, he had that tag team there, him and his partner.
And Angel.
Yep.
Yeah, Angel and him. So those guys, I was training with them a lot. They used to stop by rigorously. And also, I was going to House of Glory with Amazing Red.
Yes.
So I was training with them, and that's when Mark Quinn and Isaiah, they were little kids, and I was training back then. And so I was going back and forth, and I was just trying to, get my feet into anywhere I can go. And that was from 2012 to about 2013, and then I just came back to Johnny's, and I still was wrestling with him until well, I don't know if I jumped the gun, but that's when like the WWE, they reached out for the tryout. I think I told you, Vega, right?
Yeah, 2013. You said you did that.
Yeah.
Was this before your trip over to Mexico or after?
Yeah, no, before.
Okay. So talk to us about that process back then. There was a lot of guys that were going up to tryouts and to TV, myself included.
Yeah.
How was your experience back in 13 when you went up?
So, I always wanted to get a tryout, but I first wanted to do like the extra work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like if they were in the city, maybe I can do something with them. But they opened up the Performance Center in, I think it was July of 2013.
Yes.
That was like in Orlando. And they reached out to me in August of 2013, so a month afterwards. They said, this is the story. There's a guy who I'm a friend with on Facebook. He's a producer. He put out a post, and it says, looking for a Spanish guy to play a part in a movie. You have to be 6'2" or over and around 225 pounds or over. Mm-hmm. So I wrote to him, and he goes, and if you have wrestling experience, it works. If not, it's okay. So I write to him, and I say, hey, I just saw your post. I want to know what I got to do, da-da-da-da. He's like, well, this is actually for WWE. They're looking for a Spanish guy to have a tryout. And I said, really? Wow, that's... And then he goes, yeah, so this guy, Canyon Seaman, is going to reach out to you. You guys remember him?
Yeah, Canyon, yep.
Yeah, so he wrote to me on Facebook, bro. That's how I know everybody in WWE, bro. They watch everything on social media, so you always be careful what you post.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wrote to me on a Facebook message. He goes, hey, da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to have my assistant reach out to you because we want to, do the tryout in December of 2013. So I was like, okay, da-da-da. So this is the part that got me going crazy. They send me a message. Now, on Facebook, you sometimes get a message request that you don't see on your inbox?
Yeah.
Bro, the girl wrote to me 2 times on a message request I didn't see. She wrote, hi, da-da-da-da. We want to know what we got to do. Give me your info. And she writes again like 2 weeks or a month later, like, hey, if I don't hear from you, we're going to proceed with the trial without you. I said, oh, shit. I said, I'm so sorry I didn't see the message because it was in a different box. Da-da-da-da. Here's my info. So they sent me the flight, they sent me a hotel and a car rental. And that was at August. So I had from August to December to train my ass off to get there. So it was a 3-day tryout.
So when you get there, for all the youngins that are watching this, what was the process once you get to the PC, once you get to Orlando? I always like them to hear it from other mouths because, the mouths that are in the house sometimes are not always heard, but when they hear it from somebody else is a whole different story. Yeah. So what was the process when you got to Orlando? What was the process when you walked through the doors of the Performance Center?
Well, when I got to Orlando was a Thursday, so the trial was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you leave Sunday, and they don't give you no time to do anything because you go there Friday at like 8:30 in the morning, and you train. I think I got on probably at 11 to 3. You go back to the hotel, you shower, you eat something, come back from 5:30 to 8:30, and that's Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday was only a one day shot, but. I didn't know. All I knew was that I was going to be at Johnny's and I was going to train my ass off to try to be ready because you never know what they're going to throw at you. So I just did my 555 drills, squats, and all that. And when I got there, it's crazy because you know Bill DeMont, he's a Johnny Rods guy too.
Yep.
So I'm like, I walk in and I'm like, that place is, bro, it hits you with a different energy because you see the NXT logo and like you're a fan, but you're also inspired to be there, and like it just hits you like 7 rings and all that stuff. Like, yo, this is where it's at. You know what I mean? This is the goal. And so I'm standing there. They all let us in, and we're all around the ring. There's like 50 girls and 50 guys. And first thing you hear, Bill DeMont, he like bursts through the door. He goes, "Who's with Johnny Rods?" I was like, oh shit. I was the only guy there. So I raised my hand like slowly. He goes, "How long you been there?" I was like, at that time, like 5 years. He goes, "Oh, I got my eye on you, Rods." And throughout all the drills, I go in the ring. He's like, "Oh, here we go. Here's Johnny's guy. Here's Rods. Here's Rods." Everything. He goes, "I don't believe you got trained by Johnny." I told Johnny that. Johnny was laughing and shit. But no. But then it was just honestly, it was extreme cardio drills and shit. A lot of squats, push-ups. I think I did maybe more than 1,000 squats that whole 3 days, maybe.
I was hoping
hell no, way more than that.
The multiple drills, leaving from one ring to another.
Yes, can you tell us about the drills? Because again, our words, people don't like to hear because they hear it over and over again. Your words, tell us. You started doing some. Probably blow-up drills in the ring, or they start really basic?
Yeah. So they first of all, it was Eden English. You remember that guy, right?
Yeah, Eden English. Yep.
Yeah, and Tyler Breeze. So they were the two guys that would show us a drill, and then we would repeat it. So they would do the first team was like push-ups. So 25 push-ups, done. Then you get up 25 squats, free weight. Then you do 25 crunches, and then you do a drill called set and go. So you're on the back. And then they said set, you got to be on your back position. And you go, you get up, and you put on like a fighting stance. And set, go. And he does those, another like 20. And then you don't stop. You do about 3 or 4 sets of that right in a row with no break. And that was like the most getting in the ring then was mostly the most, I think, cardio drill that was out there. And then you have the numbers, you pair up with somebody, and then you do a drill with like a 555, where it's like 5 leapfrogs, 5 drop downs, and you do a roll over the drop down, pass by, leapfrog, drop down, and you do that. Then you run to the next ring with it about maybe 45 seconds rest, and you do it again. Then you do it to the next ring, 45 seconds, and you do it again. And you have the scouts are in the ring with their notebooks, and you had Gerald Briscoe, you had Eugene, Norman Smiley, Regal, Robbie Brookside. This girl, what's her name? What's the Spanish girl's name? Was she the trainer out there?
Was it
Sarah?
Was it Sarah?
Yeah, Sarah Del Rey.
Yeah.
So they're all looking at you blow up and stuff. And then, but they were kind of encouraging. They were like, yeah, come on. Like Norman Smiley kept clapping his hands like, come on, you got it. And Gerald Briscoe kept asking me, what's your number? I guess he was, looking at me, seeing the way I hit the ropes. I guess, hit them well or whatnot. But those ropes are about 5.5 feet. Because this shit would hit me by my traps almost. And they're real ropes and they're tight as hell. So, but that was just it. This cardio, I'm doing it over and over again. We did no bumps. We only did a handstand bump.
So I'd like to tell the kids that story. I'm glad that they got to hear it again from someone else. Basically, what they're looking for is for somebody to quit. It's kind of like a mind game. They want to see where your fortitude is. They want to see if you really want it and if you're willing to sacrifice and to take it to the next level when you're tired. You know, are you gonna quit or are you gonna push to the next stage? And that's when a lot of people quit.
Yeah, well, bro, I caught a cold when I was up there, bro, and I blew out my knee doing drills.
Wow.
But that sucked, bro. I had to sit out and just watch everybody. That was like the worst feeling in the world. I couldn't do it. I was limping, but I went into the ring. I started limping. Phil the Mon's like, no, get out the ring, get out the ring. But I was like, you know, when you're there, bro, you try to go off adrenaline, but I couldn't even stand on my right knee. Thank God it's good now, but.
So, what was some of the feedback you got coming back? You know, and doing that. Obviously, you said you got injured. What was some of the feedback you got from the whole experience?
Well, I didn't really get feedback. They just sent me a message like, at this time, we're not going to sign you, but if something comes up, we'll be sure to contact you. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I didn't get real like feedback until I was doing like the extra work.
Yep.
Where you do the stuff with Rigo.
Yes.
And he basically said that my work is good because I wrestled Mike Mondo. You remember Mike Mondo?
Yeah.
Spirit Squad?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, we wrestled before SmackDown, and everybody, even Selena Vega, she was there. She was a Rosebud. She's like, no, that was another match. I'm sorry. But Rigo's like, the work is good, but your promos suck. Because my promos are the shits, man. I'll be the first to say it. He said he doesn't feel my emotion when I do promos. So that's what I need help in. And
you gotta work on those, brother. You gotta work on those promos. Bro.
We don't really do promos at Johnny's, to be honest with you. And I'm not trying to knock Johnny, but we don't really do that.
Oh, that's it. We're gonna start doing some promos soon.
Yep, you can go to Showcase Wrestling Training Center every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night. We do promos.
You couldn't wait for the plugs.
I couldn't help. No, I mean, well, no, but you know what it is? It's for you to put that out there. That's positive for the fact that you know that's a weakness. You know, and a lot of people, you know, they don't bring up their weakness.
Yeah.
You know, if you're, and we tell the kids that you can have it in the ring, but if you don't have a look and you definitely need, you know, some kind of mic skills, when you don't, you know, you need that.
So, Brian, after attending the trial camp, you said you were injured. Once you got going and you got ready to go again, talk to me how Mexico came about and some of the people that you met along the way when you did that tour there.
Yeah. So let me first, before I say that, when I went to the tryout, I made a good friend out there. I know you guys know who Sam Adonis is.
Who's that?
Sam Adonis.
Yep.
So he was like one of my traveling buddies. Him and actually Ricochet was my travel, because Ricochet was at the trial too. Him, Nia Jax was there, Dash Wilder, Drake Younger, Sarah Scott, you know, Spanish Angel.
Yep.
So all those like people I got to meet for the first time, and but Sam, I want to say Sam was one of the guys who like really helped me because he's actually out of Mexico. He's wrestling for AAA now, actually.
Yeah.
Well, that guy, yeah, and some other guy named Heidi. I can't say his last name, but it starts with a K.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to make some friends out there, so I just wanted to throw those guys, you know, give them a shout out. But when I got back from that tryout, I was like, fuck, man, I don't know. They reached out to me in January. They said they're not going to sign me, so, you know, I guess we would have just continued training and whatnot. They reached out to me in March of 2014, and they're like, hey, you know, we want to know, can you come down to Raw? And we, for an extra spot, we need, you know, extra workers. I said, sure. So I don't know, you guys remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger was on Raw in 2014 at the Barclays?
Yep.
Yeah, so with Hogan. So that's where I was a Druid with The Undertaker. He came down, me and a few other guys from Johnny's and Indy, some local guys. We walked down a casket and shit. And I didn't want to touch the. Have you seen me? I'm the last one to the right because I don't want to touch the casket. That shit scares me. So we walk it down, and it's crazy because I'm backstage, right, and I'm looking when they're gonna call so we can do our gimmick and whatever. And bro, I swear, I'm looking at the little monitor, and I feel like a presence to my right, and I'm too scared to look, but I look down, I see a size like 18 foot, and I slowly start to like turn, and the Undertaker's right next to me, bro, ready to go out.
Mhm.
And bro, I swear he had like this presence to him. Like I just felt he was behind me for some reason. That shit is real, bro. That's not a gimmick.
Yeah.
And we walked down the casket, and Lesnar, he opens it, then Taker's not there. Then he opens it again, and then Taker's there. But originally, what I was told that they were going to use me as a druid. That Lesnar was going to look at all the druids, and he was going to grab me. Then he was going to throw me to the staircase,
Yeah.
throw me against the barricade, throw me in the ring, and I was going to sort of, be on my ass, like backing up away from him. And then Taker's music was going to hit, and he was going to make the save. But they scratched that shit 15 minutes before the show.
Yeah, they scrap. That's like a never-ending session where you're doing something now, next minute you're not doing it, then next minute you're doing it again. I mean, it's a long day.
Man. Oh, hell yeah. But it was fun. But that was March, so then anyway, so Johnny, I'll get to the Mexico now. So he was promoting with a guy named Mystic. He came from Mexico, and they hooked up, they linked up. Mystic was training guys in lucha with Johnny. Everything was going good. So he goes, hey, they were going to send I think they were going to send somebody named Ultimate Security at first. It was like a 2-week thing. So he's like, oh, I can't make it. Somebody couldn't make it. I don't know. So I walked in the office when Johnny was talking to Mystic about sending one of his guys to Mexico. So I walk in, and the first thing I hear, Johnny goes, what about this pendejo? And I said, he goes, hey, can you go to Mexico? I'm like, and the guy looks at me, he goes, yeah, Brian's good, he can go. So I said, yeah, I can go to Mexico, So I think that was about a month, and it was me and Matt Stryker. We both went together. So Stryker was there for 3 nights, and I was there for about almost 2 weeks. So we did a show in this arena, which was like a big anniversary show. They had Mil Mascaras on there, and a whole bunch of like Lucha Libre guys from Legends of Mexico. And I teamed up with Stryker, and we took on Super Crazy and some guy named X-Fly. And that ring is hard as hell, too. I got a brain buster by Super Crazy on that shit. Oh, my God, I still feel it if I think about it. But, so we did that, and then the next night it was me and Stryker. We teamed up again against Super Crazy and some other guy up there, I don't know. And then Stryker left back to the city. So I stood there from that Monday until like the next week. And I got to train at a luchador wrestling school. So you know Sky Day?
Who is it?
Sky Day. He his name is Jorge Serrano.
Yeah, I know the name Jorge Serrano. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has a school in Mexico. So he helped train Cesaro, Chris Hero, Phoenix, Pentagon, goes like that. Even Sasha Banks was there not too long ago training with him. So I trained with him there for 3 days, and I learned they're so acrobatic out there. Like there'll be like 14 doing like moonsaults. Like the first thing I did, he goes, "Okay, we're gonna do a drill. You have to do a backflip." So these guys, they'll spot you a little bit, but that was like the first thing, and I'm like, "Whoa, bro, it's different," But I mean, no shit. I think I was gonna start doing moonsaults in my first spot, and then we just trained different submissions and arm drags and hitting. It was great, man. That was like one of the great experiences when I went out there. And then I had a show on Saturday night, and I was coming back, I think, Sunday. But Saturday, I don't know what happened, bro. My stomach was all messed up. I don't know if I had ice up there. They say don't drink the water, but I called. I was like, yo, I can't make the show Saturday, bro, because I'm sick as hell. And then I just left that other week back to New York.
So,
and I was done.
Right time, right place. You walk into Johnny's office. Someone can't make it. You just happen to be there. And, you end up going to Mexico. You end up wrestling some big shows with some legends. Talk to us about the whole experience between the crowd difference between the States and Mexico. Just like, the States and Puerto Rico is a big difference when it comes to the crowd reaction. Talk to us about that.
So I think the difference is that in Mexico, they're more passionate. Like the fans are more into it in the sense that they enjoy it, like they're happy about either just they're happy to see the show and to see the bad guy either lose or win. They want to feel that emotion. Yeah. I think in the United States they just want to be entertained. I mean they're into it too, but I think there's more of a tradition out there And a lot of girls kept coming up to me and taking pictures. I was like, man, I just move out here.
It's kind of like Japan. I hear the same things. You know, with there's still fan base for women to want to hang out with the boys and stuff like that. So, which is always a good thing. But yeah,
some girl asked me to marry. That she wanted to marry me, bro.
She's looking. She was looking for that green card, Papa.
That green card, bro.
she wanted to come back to the States, but yeah, man.
Believe me.
Same thing with Puerto Rico. You know, you go out there, you wrestle out there. The environment, the people, the fans is just crazy. It's a whole different atmosphere. It's a whole different passion, and I guess here, like you said, it's kind of like going to the movies. You like movies. You go to the movies. You want to be entertained by the movie, but you don't. It's like you don't feel it.
You're just watching it. Yeah,
you're just watching. Yeah.
They want to. Some guy. He when I was a heel, when I was walking back, he said something. I said, "Shut up!" But like I was gonna smack. He took a chair, like he was gonna hit me with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, man. And also the air quality out there, bro. I came back to the States and I wasn't getting blown up.
So, Brian, talk to us about, so once you came back to the States, what were some of the promotions you were working for, some of the opponents, noticeable opponents or people that you have worked with in the States?
So that was May of 2014. Actually, I forgot to mention before Mexico, about 2 weeks, WWE called me to be a Rosebud for 3 days. Yo, I got to do that too, bro. I just wanted to throw that in there.
All right.
I forgot. Yeah. But I was just like a sombrero guy because I wanted to sort of promote the Mexican thing. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But if you look back at Jack Swagger and Adam Rose debut on Raw, you're gonna see me with a sombrero dancing like an idiot.
I gotta go back and see that. Unfortunately, I had to be a Rosebud at some point. Imagine me dancing around like an idiot.
Yo, but I saw you at Mania. You did the WrestleMania Batista thing, right?
Yeah, I was Batista. One of his CIA or whatever, FBI, whatever the hell they were doing.
Secret Service.
Yeah, Secret Service. That's what it was.
Agent Vega. You were Agent Vega.
Yeah, Agent Vega. You know, there's other people that have tried to make me a judge, but yeah, you know that never happened. But going back to you, this is your time. What are some of the people that you've gotten to work over the years? You know, here in the States. I mean, you're a tri-state area guy, New York, and some of the people that you work with down there in New York City, New Jersey, all that tri-state area.
Yeah. Well, when I came back, I was just trying to fish and get into any promotion I can try to get seen by or whatnot. So that's actually when I started training with Dreamer when I came back from Mexico. But I'll tell you about that later. But when I came back, I wrestled, I guess if you want to throw a name out there, I was with Stryker. Mm-hmm. I wrestled him. That's one of my best matches to this day. We wrestled for the title at Gleason's. He put me over. It wasn't too, I don't know, bro, honestly. It wasn't until recently I started wrestling more former WWE guys and stuff like that.
Going back before we fast forward, Matt Stryker, not Unibrow Matt Stryker from the WWE, Matt Stryker from Lucha Underground, hell of a commentator. He became a commentator afterwards. When I was going up to TV, he was in charge of having guys do the promos backstage and stuff like that. Great mind for the business. We've had him here in the past at the school doing a seminar for the guys. He did a show for us. Do you still talk to Matt?
Yeah, I still as much as I can. I know he works with MLB. Last time I talked to him was maybe 3 or 4 months ago through an email. No, I talked to him. I tell you when I talked to him. I talked to him when I was doing the April show on the Wave, when I was taking the train there. Yeah. When we did the RCW. That's the last day I talked to him. And so he's trying to throw me into MLW, but at the time their whole budget was, I don't know. Like last year they went through a whole budget cut, supposedly, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it was to make money because they got Matt Riddle, maybe they needed to get the money over. They made a whole bunch of releases and stuff. So he said at the time, this is, it's not a good time for them MLW. So we talk, but we also talk. But he's a family guy now. I think he has a little girl or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And he's in Long Island. and he'll wrestle. He told me he has 1 foot in, like he said, he got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So it's up to him whether he wants to. I would love to see him wrestle one more time. I want to get in there with him one more time, bro. I think he wants to do it too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I like to see him again. Like I said, he's a great mind for the business. Definitely has the gift of the rap, the talk, and you know, commentate. Blackheart,
hell of a nice guy.
I do. You know, I don't really know Brian.
Yeah.
And you get mad at me when I sit back and I'm listening, I'm learning to find out the background, which I think is great. I mean, I can tell you when I first met Brian, was at an RCW show. He was in the corner by himself. I thought you were Samoan. You did, because you know, you kind of, you know, he had a Roman Reigns look, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, the more I've seen you at RCW, the more Vega tells me, you know, hey, Brian's coming from New York. He's taking a train, plane, an automobile. You know, your dedication, you know, really coming in New England. I'm like, I wish more people had that. You know, and then we were lucky enough to finally, literally, you know, stuff to a line to bring into Franklin. So, you know, I was happy for you.
That's cool. That's called being broke.
No, but but you know what it is? You didn't let that stop you. There was a problem, you figured the solution. Too many people, you know, they just stop. They go, oh, I have a flat tire. I guess I'm not going out today. You know, but you figured out the solution, and you kept on doing it. It's not the first time, you know, that has happened. You know, so like,
you guys are good people, honestly, man. You guys are really good to work with. There's no politics. Everybody at Showcase and RCW, there's such a great group of people that, you know, I want to be there. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, like this weekend, I couldn't make an 18-hour travel, so I had to pull out of that show.
So you were supposed to be down in PA, right?
Yeah, in Pittsburgh, bro, in a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
But I had to, bro, it was an 18-hour round trip. I'm like, I just can't, bro. It's just gonna, and then it's gonna be an overnight. It's like, it was just too hectic for me, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just too much sometimes. But you gotta keep on, kicking. You know, it'll work out eventually. Talk to us. Let's fast forward a little bit and talk to us about, you know, your experiences. Obviously, coming to Massachusetts, you know, for RCW and now Showcase and even Powerhouse Wrestling that we're going to be talking about in a few seconds here when we get into the plugs.
Yeah, so when I, like I said, I took 6 years off from 2016 to 2022. I was supposed to take only 3, but the pandemic messed everything up. So, but when I came back, I didn't have any footage. So I needed to start, you know, stepping into other promotions to get at least a 5-minute match and let people, you know, I had short hair back then. I had like Del Rio's hair, Alberto Del Rio. So I grew out my hair long, and I just try to get new gear, work out, I train, and then I finally got a few opportunities. When I came back, Johnny gave me a match in July of 2022, and I always wanted my first match back to be with Johnny, because he's always there for me. He really is. And if you look when that match, if I can get the footage, when I come out, Johnny's announcing me, and I give him a little fist pump, because to me that was me to sort of telling him, like, thanks for always being there. He looked at me like I was an idiot, but he looked at my fist for a second. He's like, what do you want me to do with that? And but it meant, for me, it was like, all right, you were there for my last match before, you know, you were there for my first match, you were there for my break, and now you're there for my return after 6 years. So I wanted to thank you for being there. And he that's it. So he gave me the fist bump. I went to do the show, and I had footage. So that was my first match. And I started to look at promotions and, like, who's around. And it's been 6 years, and it's like a lot of promotions are not around anymore for whatever reason, whether it was the pandemic or just they just gave up the promotion.
Yeah.
So I was looking. It's like, I don't want to travel too far. I don't want to go, you know. So I said, I'll stay in Connecticut, Massachusetts, Jersey, PA, you know, and see what happens. So I know I reached out, I think to Showcase or something, because I reached out to a whole bunch of people. But I remember Vega wrote me a message. She's like, hey, I know you reached out to me. This is I'm with these guys. We got a new promotion, RCW. If you want to come down, we'll do that. So I was like, yo, I'm there. So then we did that at the first show was in February. A whopping crowd of, we had like 800 there, crowd.
Wow. Yeah, close to
8 or 9, right?
And they were in spirit.
Yeah, exactly, bro. It was like the Thunderdome for us, bro.
Yeah, they were there in spirit.
Oh, they're gonna get tight when what the fuck? What's this guy trying to say? But what's up, Frank? I see you he wrote into the chat, man.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the chat. See, I told you.
We got Jose
I told you.
online too.
I told you he was gonna say something, bro. Then I just say something. I'm not using you no more, Bryant. Yeah. So that show was awesome too. I wrestled Rambo. I think we had a pretty good match. We had Big Salvio Vega on there. He teamed up with you in that tag match, you know. And then after that, we did the Powerhouse show in Massachusetts.
Yes.
When you wrestled Kennedy, and I wrestled, you know who I wrestled. I wrestled Enzo.
Wrestle your boy, the real one.
The real Enzo. One. The real late one. He came at 8:30.
He's definitely a character there. But yeah, man, it's great to, you know, see that fresh faces are coming around New England and guys that are hungry, guys that want to take things to the next level, and that's where you come into play. You know, and speaking of that, I'm gonna have you hang in there for a little bit. I might get right quick into these plugs because we'll be back in action September 7th at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center and Arena, 126 Main Street in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, for Saturday night's main event. Matches will be announced shortly for that card. Also, the following week, we're back at the Taunton BFW Hall, 82 Ingle Street in Taunton, Massachusetts. That is Friday night, 7:47 p.m. bell time. Who did these notes? It's too neat.
Oh, that was Danny Cabral.
Oh, all right. He's got good handwriting. Good job, Daniel. So we're back in Taunton. It's been a while. Matches for that show will be posted up shortly at SP Wrestling on all our social media. What do you got, Chris Blackheart?
Or you can buy your tickets online now at showcaseforwrestling.com. The link is up.
Link is up and hot and ready. And we're going to see you back in Taunton for that big show September 13th. Saturday night's main event on September 7th. And we got some dates coming up in October.
We do. It's you didn't write them down, but I'll look at them. We'll be back in Woonsocket on the 5th, which is Saturday, to continue Saturday's main event.
Yes.
The bell time is 7:07.
The 11th, we're at the Taunton BFW Hall.
That's a big weekend right there.
And then we got Columbus Day weekend. We're back at Autumn Fest, and the dates on that will be announced shortly. Yep. You got to stay tuned to all our social media. That's always a great event. Pack house at the Autumn Fest there. I hear we might be part of the parade this year.
We are putting up. We have not been on the parade for a while, but we are organizing a parade committee.
Yeah.
So you will be seeing exclusive Showcase for Wrestling talent.
Yes.
In the parade.
So that's.
I think Dan Badante may want to be on it.
I don't know.
I think Danny can.
I don't know.
Be a flag bearer.
I heard he's going to be lifting one of those.
Lifting.
Yes.
That could be perfect, Danny. You can lift weights all throughout. It's only a mile and a half.
Yeah, that could work out.
Yeah.
That could work out. So there you have it on that. But we get right into our other friends. On October 12th, Powerhouse Wrestling returns to the Sturbridge Hotel in Sturbridge, Massachusetts for Halloween Bash, and already matches signed for that card. The returning Mr. Kennedy Ken Anderson will take on former rival, the Masterpiece, Chris Masters, will be on that card, and they will go at it. Also on the card, very special intergender championship title match, as the IWA Puerto Rico's women's champion, Evie De La Rosa, will take on former WWE superstar James Ellsworth. And he says he's coming to teach girls what they should be doing. Cooking, cleaning, laying down, looking at the lights. That's what he said. Not coming from me. That's what James said. But
I would like to see him say that to Ivy in person.
Well, we'll find out what's going to happen come Saturday night, October 12th, Halloween Bash. in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. Also, first time in New England in a long time, former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the Cowboy James Storm, debuts at Powerhouse Wrestling coming up. He's going to be live in action, and he will take on the winner of that big battle royal to crown the new Powerhouse Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. That all happens Saturday night, October 12th, at the Sturbridge Hotel. Tickets on sale, Powerhouse Wrestling NE, and at eventbrite.com. You can grab your tickets there. Don't miss out. Tickets are moving fast, so you want to be there October 12th in Sturbridge, Massachusetts for that great event. RCW, I saw that you pulled it up. Let's go back to it. What a Nightmare. RCW returns to Medford, Massachusetts on October the 18th with a great card, and the winner of that Battle Royal this past show was Big Wrecking Ball. He's going to be taking on former WWE and current TNA wrestling star AJ Francis in a big battle of the behemoths. That's going to be a great matchup there. And all the stars of RCW Wrestling will be in action in Medford on October the 18th for What a Nightmare. Get your tickets at RoyalCrownWrestling.com and follow us at Royal Crown Wrestling and all our social media. There you have it. You still there, Brian?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, I think Brian wrote down all the dates. He's like, yep, I'm working this one. I'm
Well,
working
yeah,
this one.
I
I'm working
mean-
that one. I'm going to be in New England like the whole
Well,
weekend of
Brian
Columbus Day.
will be in action in Powerhouse coming up, and also Royal Crown Wrestling. And who knows, he might pop up Columbus Day weekend. I don't know. We'll find out. What do you got? You got any questions?
No, I mean, I kind of like find the story of Bryant Starr, which I thought was good. Now, with that being said, bro, what is next for Bryant Starr?
Well, I mean, I wrestled this weekend, a few other weekends after that, but I'm trying to link up with the NWA. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to link up with those guys. They did reach out to me, but I didn't hear back, so I'm trying to do something different. I'm trying to reach out there. Try to go back to Mexico next year, perhaps Japan. And I don't know, man. Like I said, I gotta trust the process, because last year in 2023, I was in a rush to get on every show, go reach out to WWE, did it, and then it's like when you're trying to force it, it's not going to be organic, and it's going to end up not working. So I just want to, just stay on the right track, keep training, keep learning, and just keep wrestling.
Yep, he said some bright words there in the beginning of your sentence. You have to trust the process.
And don't rush it.
Yes, indeed. Brian, definitely, it's great catching up here. We're reaching that time where we got to let you go. It was great to catch up. I'm sure we're going to do this again coming up in the future. I would like to get your trainer, Johnny Rods, on the podcast one of these days. You got to set that up for us.
$5,000.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm joking with you, bro.
he's gonna do that old school Carney shit.
It's Chris Blackheart.
You need a translator, bro.
Yeah.
He just had triple bypass surgery about 2 years ago, and he was in the ring for 30 minutes not too long ago.
Oh, yeah? Well, we're glad to hear that he's doing great. He's definitely one of those legends that I used to watch as a kid, and I remember a lot of great matches with him at the Garden. So definitely would like to, talk to John at some point.
Yeah, you'll get him on for sure.
Get him on the podcast. Brian, thanks for coming on, man. I'll see you soon, and we'll be in touch.
All right, Chris. All right, Vega. We'll link up soon. I'll see you guys in October, if not sooner.
All right, brother.
Perfect.
All right, take care, guys.
Thank you.
Later.
There you have it, Big Bryant Starr. Guest this week on the Showcase Pod. We're reaching your favorite segment of the show. Look at the smile on his face.
Well, I almost had to modify it. So, where in the world is Joel Davis? Was going to be the sponsor of Where in the World is Don Vega, because We couldn't find you.
Well,
we didn't know if
I've
you
been
were,
on the road with the Mighty Midgets.
Yeah, we didn't know you were there.
Micro Wrestling All Stars, and that's.
We thought maybe you were at that little foosball game.
No, I did went to the foosball game, and my Eagles were victorious.
Well, that being said, big news for Joel Davis in 2024 for September. We're not sure where he is going to be.
September 7th, New York City.
September, that's the big announcement?
Well, that's where.
All right, September 7th, New York City. Watch out, the real deal is coming back.
Oh, is he going to see my boy Bryant Starr in New York City?
Maybe he could.
Oh, okay, all right.
Hey, Joe, maybe you can give Brian, a ride back to New England.
I know, right?
Well, but anyway, for Brian's sake, do not go out with Joel. You may not be home for a couple of days.
Our buddy
you can
Joe
have a
Davis.
great time, but you just don't know how long the time will be.
We have any quick comments that we had there that we could reply to, or before we get out of here this week?
All right, so Daniel Alves wants to know, when you're independent, how were you able to get matches for the promotions?
What? Read that again, Daniel.
So I can answer that right now. So Dan, go to practice on Monday, and we'll have the conversation again.
What is this? Hold on.
Because we had the conversation with him this week.
Well, first of all, you have to be trained and ready to wrestle, and wrestle and have matches put together before you can send any matches.
Yeah, you got to be ready to go. I mean, as obviously people that train people, when guys are at a certain level between protecting themselves, being able to do the basics safely, and being able to work with people, we kind of give the nod. And at least with us, we normally give them their first.
Oh, you said
match.
It was for Bryant.
What?
For who?
It was for Bryant.
Who?
Bryant.
I'm not sure of the question.
It was for him, not you guys, I guess. The question was for Bryant, not you.
Oh no,
Brian's gone.
Yeah.
We're giving you the answer.
Oh yeah, no, we're giving the answer. Yeah, so that's usually how it goes. So there's a process.
Go do some homework and find out who Johnny Rods is.
Yeah.
Then we'll talk about sending tapes.
And Royal Crown Wrestling said email.
Email when you're ready, because if you email and you send me a shitty match, you're not going to be booked. So, yep, that is that.
So, Danny Alves, do not send anybody any messages.
Do not send Jose at Royal Crown Wrestling any shitty fucking
do not respond to
matches,
anybody.
because he's not going to watch them.
Let us protect you from yourself.
Who's this? Frank's in the house?
Frank Rocha, yeah. We're not on the VFW page for the 13th.
Oh, don't worry about it. We're right here live on the Showcase Pod, and we're saying we're back September 13th.
Yeah.
And
we are going to be breaking news, Rocha free. Frank, we love you. We're giving you literally a pun right there.
Yes, Franklin. If anything, since we're not on the board, you can maybe put us out there on a board or some kind of sign for September 13th. And we much appreciate it if you can make that happen. But in the meantime, we're telling the fans out there, we're back at the BFW September 13th, Friday night, 7:47 p.m. bell time. Get your tickets, showcaseprowrestling.com. We're back at the arena September 7th for Saturday night's main event. Get your tickets. Don't be left out. Woonsocket's been getting hot. There's been some title changes. There's been some surprises happening.
We got to get into that maybe next week.
Yeah,
we can't cram it in.
We'll get into that. Minutes. Yeah, don't put 20 minutes of action in a 5-minute match.
No, what are you talking about? Why not? I can go faster.
I don't know.
I can't, but
common sense. But we'll get into all that next week when we come back here. We'll get into the next pay-per-view for the WWE Bash in Berlin. I'll take my predictions that are, probably going to be all right. Right, Daniel? Like last time, what was it?
And
6 to what?
6-3, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
And we'll go over Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
Hulk Hogan being in the area.
Are you going to that?
We'll talk about it. There's a lot of different places. He's
We might
popping up everywhere.
We might have to show up, brother. He might show up Monday night. Who knows?
I know.
Some people you might know might show up Monday night. We just gotta wait and see. Come back here next week. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We will see you right back here next week. in the Showcase Pod. I am Don Vega. This is the boss, Chris Blackheart. Daniel back there somehow, some way, somehow. You're not taking any train rides soon, right?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, so he'll be back here next week when we see you in the Showcase Pod.